Noah Reed adjusted his identification badge as he wandered through the vast exhibition hall of the first interstellar technology exchange hosted on Earth's newly established orbital platform. As a lead engineer for global innovations, he was tasked with scouting potential collaborations, but privately, he was here for the pure wonder of it all. Unbelievable, he whispered, watching a holographic display demonstrate atmospheric terraforming in miniature. Dozens of alien species moved around him, some humanoid, others defying human comprehension entirely. A commotion at a nearby booth caught his attention. A slender figure with iridescent skin that shifted between lavender and azure was frantically working on a malfunctioning device. Sparks erupted from the small cylindrical object, and the alien muttered something that his universal translator couldn't quite catch. Noah approached cautiously. "Excuse me, could I help? I'm an engineer." The alien looked up, revealing faceted eyes that resembled polished amethysts. "This prototype is failing at a most inopportune moment," she said, her voice creating a strange harmonic echo. "The ambassador arrives shortly. May I?" Noah gestured to the device. After receiving a nod, he pulled a multi-tool from his pocket and examined the intricate mechanism. The technology was advanced but not incomprehensible. He identified a misaligned crystal matrix and carefully recalibrated it. The device hummed to life, projecting a stunning three-dimensional star map that rotated slowly in the air. "You've restored it." The alien's skin pulsed with bright blue flashes. "I am Vieira of the Stellarian Collective. Your intervention was most timely." Noah Reed. "Just happy to help." He smiled, extending his hand out of habit. Vieira looked at his outstretched palm with fascination before pressing her palm against his. A tingling sensation passed through Noah's arm, and the star map suddenly expanded, enveloping them both in a swirl of light. An older Stellarian approached, observing the interaction with evident surprise. "The bonding occurs. How unexpected, yet how fortuitous." "Bonding?" Noah asked, pulling his hand away as the star map returned to its normal size. "You have joined hands during the activation of a celestial map," the elder Stellarian explained. "According to our most sacred traditions, you have become bonded partners, what humans might call spouses." Noah's jaw dropped. "Wait, what? I just fixed a device." Vieira's skin darkened to a deep purple. "Elder Tauren, surely there must be an exception for cross-species interactions?" The human couldn't have known. "The cosmic alignment cannot be denied," Elder Tauren declared firmly. "The union has been registered in the collective's records. Congratulations to you both." As Elder Tauren departed, Noah stared at Vieira in disbelief. "This can't be legally binding. It was an accident." "I fear it is more complicated than that," Vieira replied, her voice lowering. "In the Stellarian Collective, such unions are considered among our most sacred bonds. Breaking it would cause significant diplomatic tension, especially now." "Now? What's special about now?" "The Earth-Stellarian trade agreement is being finalized today. Any cultural incident could jeopardize years of negotiation." She hesitated. "I apologize for this complication, but we must maintain the appearance of this union, at least temporarily." Noah ran his hands through his hair. "So I'm accidentally married to an alien, and I can't undo it without potentially causing an interplanetary incident?" "That is an accurate assessment," Vieira confirmed, her skin shifting to a concerned shade of blue-green. "Though perhaps we could find a solution that honors both our cultures, if you're willing to collaborate." Before Noah could respond, a delegation of officials approached, and Vieira whispered quickly, "Please, just follow my lead for now. I promise to explain everything." Noah nodded reluctantly. Somehow, his routine assignment had turned into the most unexpected day of his life, with an alien spouse he'd met just minutes ago. Noah sat across from Vieira in his assigned quarters aboard the orbital platform, still trying to process the events of the day. The reception following their union had been surreal, delegates from a dozen worlds offering congratulations on what they deemed a historic first, a spontaneous human-stellarian bonding. So, Noah began, breaking the uncomfortable silence. Exactly how married are we by your standards? Vieira's skin rippled with shades of amber, embarrassment, Noah guessed. The bond we share is considered spiritual and legal. Among Stellarians, unions occur when two individuals create something of beauty or significance together. When we restored the celestial map, the energy patterns of our combined efforts registered in the device. But it was just basic engineering, Noah protested. I replaced a crystal and realigned a few circuits. It's not what was done, but how it manifested, Vieira explained. The map showed our home constellation in perfect alignment, an extremely rare occurrence that happens once in 2 Earth centuries. The elders interpret this as cosmic validation. Noah leaned back in his chair. And there's no divorce in your culture? We have separation rituals, but they require mutual agreement and a cooling period of 1 stellar cycle, approximately 3 Earth years. Vieira's skin shifted to a calmer blue. I understand this is overwhelming. I didn't anticipate this outcome either. So we're stuck together for now, Noah concluded. What exactly does that mean day to day? I have a job, an apartment in Seattle. You have, whatever Stellarians have. I'm a xenobiologist stationed on Earth for research, Vieira replied. Part of the early cultural exchange program. I was only at the exhibition to present my findings. Noah raised an eyebrow. You're stationed on Earth? Where? The Stellarian Embassy in Vancouver. Not far from your Seattle. Noah couldn't help but laugh at the cosmic irony. So we're practically neighbors. Perhaps this situation isn't completely unmanageable, Vieira suggested, her tone cautious but hopeful. We could maintain minimal contact while researching a solution that honors both our customs. What about your elders? Won't they expect us to, I don't know, live together or something? They will expect ceremonial appearances, but Stellarians value personal space. My quarters are equipped for my physiological needs, which differ significantly from humans. Noah nodded, feeling slightly relieved. Okay, so we fake it for official functions, look for a loophole, and otherwise lead separate lives. I can handle that. Vieira's skin brightened. You're being remarkably adaptable. Trust me, internally I'm still freaking out, Noah admitted. But causing an interplanetary incident wouldn't exactly help my career prospects. A soft chime interrupted their conversation. Vieira glanced at a small device on her wrist. The Planetary Council requests our presence tomorrow morning for a formal recognition ceremony. Of course they do, Noah sighed. What should I wear to get married, again? The traditional color for Stellarian unions is silver, representing the starlight that guides us, Vieira explained. But your typical formal attire would be acceptable. Noah nodded, then asked the question that had been bothering him. Why did you agree to this charade so quickly? You could have denied the elder's interpretation. Vieira's skin darkened to a deep indigo. The truth? She hesitated. My research position was nearly terminated due to lack of results. This unexpected development has granted me extended access to Earth. It's professionally advantageous. So I'm your career advancement opportunity, Noah said dryly. And I am your diplomatic obligation, Vieira countered, her lips curving in what Noah recognized as the Stellarian equivalent of a smile. Perhaps we are even. Despite himself, Noah smiled back. Fair enough. Partners in cosmic inconvenience, then. As Vieira departed for her own quarters, Noah stared out the viewport at Earth below. His simple assignment had become the most bizarre situation of his life, temporarily married to an alien scientist with luminous skin and gemstone eyes. What worried him most wasn't the arrangement itself, but the strange flicker of curiosity he felt about what tomorrow would bring with Vieira at his side. The recognition ceremony had been mercifully brief but undeniably surreal. Noah found himself walking with Vieira through the botanical garden section of the orbital platform, trying to process becoming the first human officially recognized in a cross-species union. "Your superior handled it well," Vieira observed, her skin shimmering with amusement as they passed under artificial sunlight. "Though I believe the phrase, career curveball, was repeated several times during your private conversation." Noah chuckled. Director Harlow is pragmatic. Once she understood the diplomatic implications, she reframed it as an unprecedented opportunity for deep cultural exchange. "Quite resourceful," Vieira replied. "The Stellarian Embassy has assigned me enhanced research privileges as a result of our union. I can now access regions of Earth previously restricted to our kind." Something in her tone made Noah pause. "What exactly is your research about? You mentioned you're a xenobiologist, but not what you're studying." Vieira's skin rippled with subtle patterns that Noah couldn't interpret. "Comparative physiology between Earth species and those from the Novan sector. Particularly adaptation mechanisms." Before Noah could press further, his communication device chimed. "It's a notification about our new status," he said, reading the message. "Apparently, we've been assigned joint quarters in the Earth Stellarian Diplomatic Wing." "That was unexpected," Vieira said, her skin darkening with concern. "I assumed we would maintain separate residences." "It seems our historic union is more significant than we thought," Noah replied, scrolling through the detailed message. "We're being showcased as a symbol of interspecies harmony." They made their way to the newly assigned quarters, a spacious suite that had clearly been hastily modified to accommodate both human and Stellarian physiological needs. One side featured standard human furnishings, while the other contained a strange crystalline structure that Noah assumed was Stellarian sleeping equipment. "This complicates matters," Vieira said, examining the quarters with evident unease. "We can still make it work," Noah assured her. "I'll stay on my side, you on yours. It's just for appearances." Vieira nodded distractedly, moving to secure her research equipment. Noah noticed a small cylindrical device she placed carefully on a shelf, similar to the one he'd repaired but with different markings. "Another celestial mapper?" he asked casually. "No," Vieira answered too quickly. "Just a data storage unit." Noah's engineering instincts told him otherwise, but he didn't push. Instead, he began unpacking his own belongings. As evening approached, they established careful boundaries and retired to their respective sides of the quarters. Unable to sleep, Noah rose quietly in the middle of the night to get water. In the dimmed lighting, he noticed Vieira's research terminal glowing softly. She had apparently forgotten to secure it. Guilt warred with curiosity as he glanced at the screen. What he saw made his blood run cold. Detailed biological scans of humans, hundreds of them, with specific focus on neurological patterns and genetic markers. Notes in Stellarian script that his translator rendered as compatibility metrics and integration potential. One file was labeled Earth Assimilation Protocol. Noah stepped back, mind racing. The innocent xenobiology research Vieira had claimed to be conducting appeared to be something far more sinister. Was this preliminary work for an invasion? Colonization? He quickly returned to his bed, feigning sleep when Vieira emerged briefly from her crystalline chamber to check something. By morning, he had decided on his approach. "I was thinking," Noah said casually over their morning meal, "since we're stuck with this situation, I should learn more about Stellarian culture. Maybe visit your research facilities?" Vieira's skin pulsed with colors that seemed to indicate surprise and hesitation. "My work is quite specialized. It would hold little interest for a human engineer. I'm interested in everything about my new spouse's life," Noah insisted with a forced smile. "Isn't cultural exchange the whole point of our symbolic union?" Perhaps in a few days, Vieira replied carefully. Once my current project reaches a stable phase. Noah nodded, maintaining his casual demeanor while inwardly growing more suspicious. Of course. No rush. Later that day, while Vieira attended a research symposium, Noah used his engineering credentials to access the platform's central database. He cross-referenced Vieira's research authorization with Earth security protocols and discovered something troubling. Her access clearance had been quietly upgraded to include human medical facilities and genetic research centers planetside. As he dug deeper, Noah uncovered communications between Vieira and the Stellarian High Council discussing the human variable and genetic compatibility assessment. The messages were cryptically worded, but the implications were disturbing. When Vieira returned that evening, Noah greeted her with the same friendly demeanor he'd maintained since their arrangement began. But behind his smile, his mind was working furiously. Either his accidental alien spouse was part of a covert operation against humanity, or there was a much deeper explanation for her research that she wasn't sharing. He needed to discover the truth, without revealing that he knew anything was amiss. The fate of more than just their peculiar marriage might depend on it. Noah maintained his facade of normalcy over the next few days while gathering information. He carefully observed Vieira's routine, noting the secure transmissions she sent during Earth's night cycle and the specialized equipment she'd installed in their quarters. One morning, a formal invitation arrived. They were requested to attend a high-level diplomatic function with representatives from 12 spacefaring civilizations. The message emphasized their unique status as the first human-Stellarian bonded pair. "We've become political symbols," Noah remarked, showing Vieira the invitation. "It was inevitable," she replied, her skin displaying ripples of what Noah had learned to recognize as concern. "The Galactic Concord has been deadlocked on the Earth membership question for months. And now we're being paraded as proof that humans and Stellarians can unite?" Noah asked. "Precisely. Our accidental bonding is being leveraged as evidence that Earth belongs in the interstellar community." That evening at the reception, Noah found himself navigating complex diplomatic waters. Dignitaries from across the galaxy approached them, some expressing genuine curiosity, others barely concealing their skepticism. "The human adapts well to interspecies socialization," remarked an insectoid representative from the Phasic Collective, mandibles clicking. "Perhaps there is potential after all." "We have always recognized humanity's adaptability," replied Elder Torin, who had appeared at Noah's side. "It is why the Stellarian Collective supported Earth's bid for membership from the beginning." Noah smiled politely while processing this new information. The Stellarians had been Earth's earliest and strongest advocates in the galactic community. Why? What interest did they have in humanity joining their ranks? As the reception continued, Noah noticed Vieira engaged in intense conversation with another Stellarian, their skin patterns shifting rapidly in what appeared to be disagreement. When he approached, they immediately separated. "Is everything all right?" Noah asked. "Merely a research disagreement," Vieira explained, her skin settling into neutral tones. "Nothing of concern." Later, as they moved through the gathering, Noah overheard a fragment of conversation between two diplomatic officials. Confirmation of genetic compatibility would change everything. The Stellarians cannot be permitted to gain exclusive access to human. The conversation ceased abruptly as they noticed Noah. He pretended not to have heard, but the pieces were beginning to align in his mind. After returning to their quarters, Noah decided to take a calculated risk. "I overheard something interesting tonight," he said casually. "Something about genetic compatibility between humans and Stellarians. Is that what your research involves?" Vieira's skin flashed with patterns Noah had never seen before. "You've been investigating me," she stated, not a question but an observation. "I saw your research files," Noah admitted. "The ones about human neurological patterns and Earth assimilation. What are the Stellarians planning, Vieira?" Instead of the defensive reaction he expected, Vieira's demeanor changed entirely. Her posture straightened, and her skin settled into a calm, determined pattern. "I should have trusted you sooner," she said quietly. "Yes, my research involves genetic compatibility, but not for the reasons you fear." She activated her communication device, projecting a holographic image of a devastated world. This was Stellara Prime, our ancestral homeworld, 100 Earth years ago. The image showed a once beautiful planet reduced to toxic wasteland. "Radiation poisoning from our early attempts at faster-than-light travel," Vieira explained. "It altered our genetic structure." The hologram shifted to display Stellarian DNA sequences. "Each generation becomes weaker. Our birth rates have fallen by 70%. We face extinction within 3 centuries." Noah studied the data, his engineering mind processing the implications. "And humans? Your species possesses remarkable genetic adaptability, especially to radiation. Our scientists discovered that human DNA contains natural repair mechanisms that Stellarians lack." Vieira's voice softened. "We sought alliance with Earth not for conquest, but survival. These compatibility metrics are to determine if genetic therapy using human markers could save our species," Vieira confirmed. "But many in the Galactic Concord fear this would give Stellarians an advantage. They've blocked our research efforts." Noah sat heavily in a chair. "So our marriage was truly accidental," Vieira assured him. "But it granted me research access that was previously denied. I've discovered promising compatibility patterns that could save millions of Stellarian lives. Why keep this secret? Why not just ask humanity for help?" "Political complexities," Vieira explained. "Some Earth factions would demand technological exchanges we cannot provide. Others in the Concord would block any exclusive agreement between our species." A priority alert suddenly blared from both their communication devices. On screen, an urgent message appeared: an extremist faction opposed to Earth joining the Galactic Concord had seized the orbital platform's environmental controls. Life support was failing in multiple sections. "They're accelerating their timeline," Vieira whispered, her skin paling to almost white. "They mean to prevent my research from reaching Stellara." Noah's engineering training kicked in. "The primary environmental hub is 3 levels down. I might be able to override their protocols." Vieira nodded grimly. "I'll alert security to evacuate critical sections." As they prepared to separate, Noah caught Vieira's arm. "When this is over, if we survive, we need to talk about how to handle this situation honestly. Both our marriage and your research." "Agreed," Vieira said, her skin briefly flashing with an emotion Noah couldn't identify. "Be careful, Noah." As alarms blared throughout the station, Noah realized that his accidental marriage had placed him at the center of an interstellar political crisis, one where the fate of an entire species might hang in the balance. Chaos engulfed the orbital platform as Noah navigated emergency corridors toward the environmental control hub. Warning lights bathed the passageways in crimson, and evacuation announcements echoed through the station. His engineering badge granted access through security checkpoints, but time was running short. He reached the hub to find it locked down. Using his emergency override, Noah entered to discover 3 unconscious security personnel and a single figure hunched over the main console. "Step away from the controls," Noah called out. The figure turned, another Stellarian, but with skin patterns Noah had never seen, pulsing with angry red and black. "The human arrives," the Stellarian said, voice cold. "How fitting that you should witness this. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, it won't work," Noah said, edging closer. "Security forces are already on their way. By then it will be too late. The alliance between humans and Stellarians cannot be permitted." Noah assessed the situation rapidly. The environmental systems were being reprogrammed to flood certain sections with nitrogen, non-lethal to humans but potentially fatal to several alien species, including Stellarians. Why? Noah demanded, trying to buy time while looking for an opening. Why oppose an alliance that could benefit both our species? Benefit? The Stellarian's skin flashed with derision. Your primitive species would be elevated beyond your natural development cycle, while my people would become dependent on human genetic material. We would rather face extinction with dignity than survival through dilution. Noah recognized the extremist rhetoric that had emerged among certain Stellarian factions, those who believed that genetic therapy using human DNA would forever alter their species' purity. Your people democratically chose this path, Noah argued. You're in the minority. A minority willing to act while others merely debate, the Stellarian replied, turning back to the console. Noah seized his opportunity, lunging forward and tackling the saboteur. They crashed against the control panel, triggering alarms as systems went offline. The Stellarian was surprisingly strong, skin burning hot against Noah's as they struggled. You understand nothing of what's at stake, the Stellarian hissed. I understand more than you think, Noah countered, managing to pin the saboteur against the console. Vieira explained everything. The mention of Vieira seemed to enrage the extremist further. With unexpected strength, the Stellarian threw Noah off. As Noah stumbled backward, the saboteur pulled a small device from his robes, a Stellarian energy disruptor. Your union is an abomination, the Stellarian declared, raising the weapon. Before he could fire, a brilliant flash of blue light erupted from the doorway. The saboteur collapsed, revealing Vieira standing behind him, holding her own disruptor. Are you injured? She asked, rushing to Noah's side, her skin pulsing with concern. I'm fine, Noah assured her. But the environmental systems. Security has dispatched technical teams to all critical sections, Vieira explained. They'll restore normal operation within minutes. As they waited for security to arrive, Noah noticed Vieira's hand still on his arm, her skin glowing with a gentle luminescence where they touched. You saved my life, he said quietly. We saved each other, Vieira replied. And perhaps both our species in the process. 2 weeks later, Noah stood before the Earth delegation to the Galactic Concord. Director Harlow nodded approvingly as he concluded his presentation. The attempted sabotage revealed the extremist plot, but also confirmed the viability of Vieira's research, Noah explained. Human genetic therapy could indeed save the Stellarian species from extinction. And your recommendation, Mr. Reed? Asked the Earth ambassador. A transparent partnership. Humanity shares genetic research with the Stellarians in exchange for specific technological advancements that don't violate the Concord's development protocols. And what of your personal situation? Director Harlow inquired delicately. Noah hesitated before answering. Vieira and I have discussed our options. The crisis revealed that our accidental union served a greater purpose than either of us could have imagined. After the meeting concluded, Noah found Vieira waiting in the observation lounge, her skin shifting through gentle patterns of blue and silver as she gazed at Earth below. They've approved the partnership, Noah told her. Full disclosure, regulated exchanges, and continued research. And our situation? Vieira asked, turning to face him. I've been thinking about that, Noah said, moving beside her at the viewport. We could follow your tradition, maintain our union for the 3-year cycle before seeking separation. Vieira's skin rippled with surprise. You would consider that? Even knowing it began as an accident? Some of humanity's greatest discoveries were accidents, Noah replied with a smile. Your research saved your people, and our diplomatic incident helped forge an alliance that will benefit both species. And us? Vieira asked, her voice soft. What benefits do we gain from this arrangement? Noah reached out, tentatively touching her hand. Her skin glowed where they connected, creating a small universe of light between them. Time, he answered simply. Time to discover if what began by accident might become something chosen. Something real. Vieira's skin illuminated with patterns Noah had come to recognize as happiness. I would like that opportunity very much. As they stood together watching Earth turn below them, Noah reflected on how quickly life could change. One moment, he had been a simple engineer attending a technology exhibition. Now, he stood beside an alien scientist whose research would save millions, bound to her through an accidental gesture that had somehow aligned with the cosmos. Perhaps some accidents weren't accidents at all, but beginnings we never saw coming. The celestial map that had joined them continued to turn in the embassy quarters they now willingly shared, stars and planets in their eternal dance, much like the human and the Stellarian who had found connection across the vast gulf of space.